So I think I'm a lesbian. Wait, no. Bisexual. I think I might be straight. So I have a girlfriend. We broke up. I guess I don't like anybody. So, ace. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I like girls. But guys are not that bad. Really, it's all about girls. So today's video is mostly just about coming out and why it doesn't actually ever stop. It's just keep going and keeps changing and developing, I guess. So as many of you know, sexuality is pretty fluid. And sometimes it changes, or not necessarily changes, but maybe you realize what you thought was a romantic attraction is actually a sexual attraction, or vice versa. And sometimes you have to explain this to people because people seem to be very interested. So you have to update them just periodically. But basically, coming out just keeps happening. You either come out to a new stranger or a friend you hadn't seen in a while or a family member. You just keep having to inform people, I guess. And you don't have to feel like you have to do it, but it just it's a it's just a fact that at some point they will most likely find out about it. So that's what I mean by coming out to people and continuing to do that for basically the rest of your life. But yeah, there's always the initial coming out, which is to yourself, and it's just honestly the most important one because it's just you talking to yourself and being comfortable with who you are. It's figuring out, hey, I like this person's personality, but I actually really like their ass too. And you know what? Maybe I want to look like them, or maybe I just want to be with them, which sometimes can be really difficult to separate. Like, me in middle school was chaotic. Like, I would see a girl and I was like, oh my god, she's so pretty. But then I'd be like, oh my god, is it because I like her? Or is it because I want to look like her and I'm jealous? So it can be confusing. And sometimes you can lie to yourself. I think I might be straight. It might be persuaded by who you hang out with, but eventually you figure it out. And then after that initial coming out, then you can do a friends and family, or a complete stranger, or just somebody you trust, whichever one you feel more comfortable with. Since a lot of us are in self-isolation or quarantine at home right now, you might be stuck at home with parents or family members that don't know your sexuality yet, and you might be thinking about coming out to them because either one, it fucking sucks to hide it at home. Two, you might feel like, hey, we're pretty close. I kind of want to let you in on this pretty big aspect of my life. Or three, you just like it's uncomfortable not being able to tell somebody, and you just wanting to tell them, and they're the only ones who you can talk to. Maybe there might be other reasons, but I would honestly say go ahead. Like, I'm all for it. You guys should totally do it because it just takes this huge weight off your chest, off your shoulders, just like being able to tell somebody. And well, at least for me, because I'm kind of close to my family, just being able to tell them was such a relief. Because even though they didn't take it amazing, they weren't super supportive and accepting at first. Ay, hija, ¿por qué? ¿Por qué? Ay. ¿No hay otros muchachos en la escuela o en la iglesia que conozcas? ¿Cómo que traes novia? ¿A qué horas? ¿Cuándo? And I didn't feel like I was lying about things anymore. I felt like I was being honest, and they knew, and then we could work things out. They could kind of explain why they didn't necessarily like this part of me, or kind of talk it out, I guess. In my case, it was more that they were afraid that I would be like a subject of hate crimes or something, because they themselves had seen that growing up, which I understood, and I tried to talk them out of it, like out of that fear. Going back to my initial thought, if you are thinking about it, I would definitely encourage it because, like I said, it just makes it easier to work things out. But I would say to maybe don't do it only if you are possibly in danger of being in, like being homeless or being abused in any sort of way, either just like mentally or physically or anything. If you fear for your own safety, I would definitely say to hold on and not do it because there will be a time when you can speak to these people and you don't have to fear things like that. Um, and above everything, even though you might still feel uncomfortable at home, I still think that your safety will always come above it. So if you're underage and you're living with your parents and they're super not accepting and you know that they would probably kick you out or something and you have nowhere to go, then sadly I think the best would be to hold on. But if you can find a relative or a good friend, like a really, really good friend, that will support you in these times. If your parents were to kick you out, then yes. So I guess what I'm saying is, if you're going to come out and it is a toxic or abusive possible outcome, then you should at least have plan B, plan C ready to go, just in case. Because you don't want to be stuck in that situation where you can't leave and you're being mistreated, or you're out on the streets and you have a lot of other things to worry about. So there's that coming out. Then there's the coming out to strangers. That one is interesting because some strangers want to know from the first time they see you. They want to know all about you in that regard. Like sometimes I imagine people, the introduction that they expect is, so my name is CJ. I use he, her pronouns. These are my flags. This one's asexual, which means I don't have a sexual attraction to people. And this is panromantic. Well, it's actually a pansexual flag, but panromantic because I don't know what the other flag is. But anyways, that means I like anybody, but I do have a girlfriend. So I could like guys, they don't say I don't, but I could. But anyways, I have a girlfriend, and yeah, that's who I am. My interests are also looking at really gay fanfiction and watching anime. So yeah, I feel like those are things that some people expect you to say because I may come out and say, "Hi, yeah, I have a girlfriend," or "I'm Pam," and that sometimes is not enough because later on I will say, "Oh, but I am asexual," and they're like, "Well, why didn't you just say that before?" And it's like, "Well, do you normally tell people, 'Hi, I am heterosexual and I like having sex with my girlfriend'?" No, I don't think so. At least generally, I haven't met people like that. But they seem to be offended when you don't tell them from the first day that you meet everything about your sexuality and attraction to other people. And then there's other people who don't want to hear anything about it. And this is several of my friends, I guess, that I have made over the years. Um, but just with strangers, I usually try to incorporate it somewhere in the conversation at some point. Like, we might be talking about movies, and I'll say, "Oh yeah, my girlfriend really likes that movie," and that's kind of my hint of like, "Ugh, I'm not straight." But some people kind of see it as like, "Oh, why do you have to put it in my face? Like, I didn't want to know. That's not important. That's irrelevant." But you never know which one of those two people they are. So that's the only reason I would say that coming out to strangers can be a little difficult. And also, when you're just meeting new people in general, it can be a little intimidating. Like, for example, in high school, I was pretty much out in general. Everybody knew it by the time I graduated. It was pretty common knowledge. My high school was pretty small, so everybody knew. And then I went to college, and yes, there was people from my high school, but most of the people I was talking to were new, and I didn't feel comfortable just coming out. And I felt really, really just awkward, I guess, explaining this to people. And I didn't know how to bring it up in a conversation in a very casual way, especially because we were just talking about school stuff. Um, Honestly, the only point I do bring up that I'm gay and I push it like on somebody's face is when I have my own suspicions that the other person is gay, and that's only because I'm like, hey, buddy, I don't know. Should we friends? I don't know. Because sometimes it's kind of hard to meet other gays who are into the same things that you are. Because the misconception is that if you're gay, you're automatically friends, which is not true. There are some gays that are really annoying, and some that are just like stupid as fuck in some other areas. And you just don't want to be friends with them. So, yeah, sexuality does not mean friendship. But when there is someone who is into the same things that you are and also happens to be gay, it's like, damn, jackpot. So yeah, basically, point being, it's kind of fun to find someone who is similar or into the same things that you are, and into the same people that you are as well. So, in the same situation, I guess. It's just like nice and it makes you a little bit more comfortable. So, yeah, coming out never really ends. You're constantly having to explain to these people, having to update them, either if it's somebody new or if it's like a family member that you haven't talked to in a long time. And honestly, you do it whenever you're ready. I think that the time when you come out to people just by being who you are, I think that's honestly the best way. But that does come after a long time of you experiencing it. I don't know how to explain it in the best way. I'm not the best explainer, and I know I'm rambling, but basically, I think the best way to come out is just to be yourself. If you want to hold hands with your boyfriend or girlfriend, go ahead. It's a bigger putting it out there, I guess. Just you start you start to do things without thinking about what other people are gonna think. So, for example, like before, holding hands for me was a big deal. Like, oh, people will see that and be like, oh my god, she's gay. But now it's just like, well, I want to hold hands, and that's fine. I'm not thinking about what other people might be seeing. I'm just thinking about the fact that I'm holding this person's hand, and that's what matters, I guess. Like, you start doing things you want to, and without thinking about it, and people just kind of figure it out on their own, and you don't even have to tell them. Sometimes you do have to um, acknowledge, I guess, their suspicions. They might be like, hey, are you, and you might be like, I don't know what you're talking about, but if you're talking about my girlfriend, then yes. Is that what you're talking about? No? Okay. I'm gonna go now. I don't know. I don't know anything, really. I just wanted to make this video because I don't have a lot of things to do. And I think coming out videos are kind of important. Um, so yeah, I don't know. If you guys leave a comment, think what was your coming out experience like? And you can choose any coming out story, like when you came out to your parents, to your friends, to your counselor, to anybody, to your teddy bear, to your diary. Again, I know, rambling, side story. I remember I had such a hard time coming out to my own diary. I was writing like, I really like this girl and blah 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 blah. But then like the next day I'd regret it and be like, no, no, I'm straight. I was like, what I wrote on the last page, I just sent it as a friend. I just think she looks really nice, but like I want to look like her. I don't mean it. No homo, no homo, all capitals. And I I remember that, and I still have a journal, and it's funny because it's it's really stupid, but and it's kind of sad, honestly. The many countless times that I tried coming out to myself and then I shoved my gay ass back in the closet. Um, it is kind of sad, but those times are gone. So yeah, just leave a comment talking about what your come out experiences, or if you have any tips for other people that are thinking about coming out, or if you want to make a reaction video, well, not a reaction video, but like response video, yeah, you can do that as well. So yeah, have a good day, guys.